In this video, I will show you how I went about making this Minecraft Legends Grindstone Golem. Originally called the Cavalry Golem, they will charge onto the battlefield and knock over entire groups of Piglins. I'm sculpting with polymer clay. Tools and materials are listed below. Roll out an even sheet. I'll be using grid paper to keep my measurements to scale. There is a free downloadable file with all the measurements linked below. Cutting out a 5x5 square. I cut out 6 of these. Hole in the center of the 2 side pieces. Cut out 4 buttons, add some liquid clay and place them in the center. For the side with the face, I press in 2 eyes with a square drive bit. Moving on to the arms, you will need to cut out 5 of these for each arm. Stack them on top of each other, blend them together and check that the stack is about 2.5 grid squares thick. Mark a hole to attach later. After the second arm is made, you can then bake all these pieces. With a 120 grit sandpaper, I flattened down the rough surfaces. This is where I changed up my original plan. The correct measurements are on the free download, so if that's easier, just follow that. Because I want my golem to remain at the 5x5 size, I cut down the top and bottom pieces by half a square on either side. Then for the 2 side pieces, I cut them down by half a square on all 4 sides. These will become a 4x4 square. I will save these offcuts for later on. Now to put the cube together. Rolling out a piece to match the length of the cube, blending it in, some liquid clay, adding on the front and blending it together. Same thing for these 2 pieces and again to join the 4 together. Add on the side caps and set that aside. Back to the arms. Roll out an extra thin sheet of clay, cut out the strap pieces, attach to the lower ends of the arms and blend. With one of those offcuts from before, I cut that into small squares. Some dots of liquid clay, then press the squares into the band. Bake again, and this is what we have so far. I'm then filling the gaps by blending in lengths of soft clay. He is then baked for the final time. To assemble him, I am using a length of floristry wire through the center, a bead on either side, and then the arms. I'll be keeping these parts separate to make the painting easier. Light grey base coat. My paints are cheap, so I need to do this several times. Brown on the arms. Basically just simple solid base coat colors to start with. Some yellow to lighten up the brown with a bit of drying retardant. With a fine detail brush, I paint in some wood grain. Black paint in the eyes, dark grey detail lines on the grey areas, and dark brown detail lines on the brown areas. I also have the video tutorials for the other 3 golems as well.